Learners, so nice to see all of you again back to my YouTube channel. Lesson 3, and the topic today is rational exponents. Rational exponents are expressions with exponents that are rational numbers. A rational number is any number that can be written as a fraction. That is x divided by y, where x is called the numerator and y is called the denominator. And both the numerator and the denominator must be an integer. A rational exponent is in the form of b to the power m divided by n. A rational exponent is also called fractional exponent. We have definitions of rational exponents, and please learners, try to understand the definitions. You will see how we can apply the definitions in the examples that I will help you to solve. And please try to put the definitions also in your head or your mindset to be able to use when you see any rational exponent question. So 1 r to the power n is equals to a, then r is equals to the nth root of a, where n is greater than or equals to 2. Number 2, if we have a to the power 1 divided by n, then it is equals to the nth root of a. Number 3, if we have a to the power negative 1 divided by n, is equals to a to the power negative 1 to the power 1 divided by n, which is equals to the nth root of 1 divided by a. You remember one of the definitions of exponent, we said if the exponent is negative, we have to write it in a fraction form. So don't be surprised that I wrote 1 divided by a, because a has an exponent of negative 1. The fourth one, if we have a to the power m divided by n, is equals to a to the power m to the power 1 divided by n, which equals to the nth root of a to the power m. And notice here, a is greater than 0, r is greater than 0, and notice here, because we are talking about rational numbers, m and n are integers, and n must not be equals to 0. So let me define what I mean by exponent of this form. A is equals to b to the power 1 divided by n is equivalent to a exponent n is equals to b. It means that in the case, it means what number in the case of a was it raised to n to get b. Very understandable. An example, if we have 9 and you are told to write it in exponent form, it means we find two numbers that when we multiply, we are going to have what? 9. And these two numbers must be the same. It mustn't be 3 and 2. It mustn't be 3 and 4. We are talking about 9. So it means that it must be 3 multiplying 3. And if we have to write it in exponent form, it's going to be 3 to the power 2. Now back to the explanation of b to the power 1 divided by n, which is equivalent to a to the power n is equal to b. So it means what number in the case of A was it raised to n to get B? So B, let's take B is 9. So what number is 3, and the n represents 2. So 3 to the power 2 is 9. So it means that the number 3 was raised to 2 to get 9. So B exponent 1 divided by n is also called the nth root of B, finding the root of B. Example, if we have 25 to the power 1 divided by 2, it means that what number did I square to get 25? It is not 4, because 4 times 4 is what? 16. It is not 3, because 3 times 3 is what? 9. So the answer is what? 5. 5 to the power 2 will give us what? 25. So it means that the square root of 25 is 5. Why the square root? Notice the exponent for 25. It is 1 divided by 2. So we are talking about the denominator, isn't it? The 2. And the 2 makes us think that it is square. Now we have 32 to the power 1 divided by 5. Now we are talking about the fifth root or the fifth power, isn't it? So it means that, or it means what number did I raise to the fifth power to get 32? So you can take your calculator. We start from 2. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. It will give us what? 32. So now the answer is 2. Try 3. If you say 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, we are not going to have 32. It will be more than 32. So it was the number 2 that was raised to the fifth power to get 32. So the answer is 2. Example 3. We have negative 8 in a parenthesis to the power 1 divided by 3. It means what number did I raise to the third power? How did we get a third power? Notice the exponent. It is 1 divided by 3. We are talking about the denominator 3. So it means the third power to get what? 8. So you can start from 2 to multiply 2 by itself 3 times and see if you get negative 8. You can also start with 3. If you don't get it, you take another number. So now the answer is negative 2, because negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is 8. Another example, negative 125 in a parenthesis to the power negative 1 divided by 3. It means that what number did I raise to the third power to get negative 125? The answer is negative 1 divided by 5. This is how we solve. Since the denominator is 3, we are talking about the cube root. So meaning we have to find the cube root of negative 125 to the power negative 1. Remember the definition of exponent. If the exponent is negative 1, we have to write it in a fraction form. Hence we have the cube root of 1 divided by negative 25, negative 125. And the cube root of negative 125 is what? Negative 5. It means negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5, and we are going to have negative 125. And the cube root of 1 is 1. And the cube root of negative 5 to the power 3 is 5. Because if the cube roots cancel the exponent of negative 5, what will be left is negative 5. So therefore, the answer is negative 1 divided by 3. The final example, if we have 0.008 in a parenthesis to the power 1 divided by 3, it means what number did I raise to the third power to get 0.008? The answer is 1 divided by 5. Let's see how we can solve this final example. First, my learners, you need to change 0.008 to a fraction. To change it, we need to count how many numbers after the decimal point. They are 3. So if they are 3, it means we have to divide it by 1000. So we are going to have 8 divided by 1000. If you want to prove, please use your calculator. Say 8 divided by 1000 and you are going to have 0.008. So notice here also the exponent, the denominator is what? 3. So meaning the cube root. So if we have to write 8 in an exponential form, it means we have to find a number that when we multiply that number by itself 3 times, we will get 8. And the number is 2. So 2 to the power 3 will give us 8. And 10 to the power 3 will give us 1000 or 1000. So the cube root of 2 to the power 3 is 2 because the cube root will cancel the exponent of 2, which is 3. We will be left with 3. And the cube root will cancel the exponent of 3. We will be left with 10. So we are going to have 2 divided by 10. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So therefore, the final answer is 1 divided by 5. Learners, that brings to the end of today's lesson 3. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get more math videos from me. And please don't forget also to share the videos with your friends, with your families, with your colleagues, so that they can also benefit from my YouTube channel. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.